Sam left the funeral without looking at Luke. It was too hard. She had too many conflicting emotions about him. Did she even like him, or did she just like the idea of him? He was dangerous, that was for sure. He had killed her aunt and at least 2 other women. If she reported her suspicions to the police, maybe they would find evidence that would lead him straight to jail. He was a creep, that was for certain. Luke was terrifying, evil, and cruel. But he wasn't any of those things to her. To her, he was nice and charming and altogether perfect. How Sam wished that was the person he always was. The problem was, she determined, she loved who he was pretending to be, not who he was. She eventually decided that she had to do something. She stopped at a payphone on the way home and called the police anonymously, telling them about her suspicions. She didn't sleep at all that night. She thought only of Luke, torn between his dark side and his light side. She didn't love him, not really. She was just obsessed with the idea that she could love him. That she had ever considered the prospect that he could change his serial killer ways, that she had thought she could fix him. The bleeding heart killer was not someone whose heart she could repair. With such thoughts on her mind, Friday went by in an instant. Friday night. Autumn has taken over, and the harsh autumn wind blew throughout the dark streets of the inner city. Sam hated commuting at night. The inner city was scary enough without thoughts of Luke in her mind lingering around. She avoided spending the night outside of home as much as possible, but she had completely lost track of time in the library, departing school around 9 p.m. Not awfully late for a teenager, but late enough for certain types of people to start roaming the streets. Shivering in the chilly interior of the bus, Sam checked her phone for the time. 9:45. By now, she should have been home. Unfortunately, rush hour had just begun and the bus was stuck amongst a plethora of cars. The bus had a few other passengers, some grumbling under their breaths about their misfortune. Sam agreed with their complaints and silently. Sam considered her 2 options. She could get off the bus and, taking advantage of a shortcut through a few alleys, get home in less than 10 minutes. The other option was waiting in the relative warmth of the bus for another hour or so. The vivid image of Luke standing in the shadows of the streets at night prompted her to stay put. She wasn't in that big of a rush. Out of habit, Sam put on her earbuds, forgetting for a brief second the horrors that fester in the human mind, the atrocities that play out in the imaginations of the wicked, the twisted beings that in the safety of their heads flip the world upside down and violate it. Amongst the white noise, horrific thoughts and dreams bombarded her, lustful, dark fantasies that shattered the innocence of youth. Blood pooling in the center of the bus as one man cackled, covered in the blood of his fellow passengers. Sam saw as incoherent words and phrases slowly painted a picture in which she, Samantha Collins, was beaten, her valuables stolen, her broken body thrown off the bus and onto the unforgiving pavement. The bus driver, distracted with the task of navigating the mob of vehicles, barely noticed a girl, seemingly terrified of the evil souls surrounding her, run out of the bus, into the street, and into the raven-black urban landscape.